Vote no on Prop 50.
feel like I look like a hostage.
Gun to your head.
I know.
No.
Vote no, guys. All right, guys. Welcome back. We have our lovely guest back. You already know who she is. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I didn't actually introduce myself.
You didn't?
I realized that.
Oh, well, now she can.
Hi, I'm Priya. Yeah.
You guys love her. Like, all the comments were so nice. I was like, I wish you guys were that nice to me. But she's great, especially about California. So that is what we are focusing on today. Make sure you like, subscribe, share YouTube. This will be everywhere because I am everywhere every time you open your phone. So we will continue to talk about Prop 50, which how do we explain? Okay, I want to kind of explain what this is for the dumbest person imaginable. How would you break down what Prop 50 is? Because it's a very easy vote. It's yes or no.
It's a very, very easy vote. And the funny thing is that this was all surrounding Texas's new proposed redistricting, right? However, what the Democrats care to leave out every single time they talk about this and tout voting yes on Prop 50 is that Democrat-led lawsuits are what's causing Texas to redistrict.
Okay.
So Texas is having to redistrict regardless, and they were intending on redistricting because of said lawsuits. And then, oh my gosh, President Trump has to tweet out or Truth Social out, find me 5 more seats. Not a strategic, policy position whatsoever. The president says crazy things on the internet all the time.
Yeah, we're used to it.
And they took this and said that this was a strategic move on the parts of
So they took
Texas.
it and ran with it.
They took it and ran with it, and now they're using that to redistrict here in California.
Yeah.
And to essentially get all the people that just hate Trump and will do anything to oppose Trump to vote yes on Prop 50. However, when the first version of the Assembly bill basically had it in there that California, if this was passed, California would only redistrict if Texas's proposed maps went into effect. So our maps would only go into effect if Texas's maps went into effect. It's really stupid because guess what? I care about California. I really couldn't care less about what Texas is doing.
Same. I don't care about any
California,
other state, really.
Because I live here. What Texas does really does not affect me in that way. I care about who's representing me in my state.
Yeah.
But so initially it was supposed to go into effect only if Texas redistricted.
It's very weird.
However, I believe it was literally the night before they did the final vote in the assembly on the bill.
Yeah.
They rewrote it, and the maps are now going to go into effect regardless if Texas's maps go into effect. And now people are like, oh, it passed. It can still, Texas's maps passed, rather, but they can still be struck down by the court. So if they do happen to get struck down by the court, California's maps will still go into effect if Prop 50 passes.
And so obviously we're voting no on this.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you vote for anything in California, you usually vote no.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare.
So rare.
So rare.
If you don't know what this is,
always vote no.
Always vote no.
Always vote no.
It's safer to vote no.
It's probably something about raising your taxes, so that's also why you always want to vote no.
Exactly.
Even this is okay, so it's gonna cost they were like, more money for firefighters? No. He shut that down immediately. Yeah. This is going to cost you money, so this will come out of our taxpayer dollars.
Oh, absolutely. Well, so no. The bill itself is going to cost the election, is going to cost over $250 million. I believe it's actually confirmed it's supposed to cost $282 million.
Why does it cost so much money?
Great question.
Do they take bars of gold and engrave the bill into it? Because I don't understand how anything costs this much
I guess
money.
what? They should just take those bars of gold and give them to me.
And give them to the illegals who deserve them.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? To the illegal, criminal, rapists that deserve those bars of gold, not the white Americans that live here and pay for all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
So vote no.
Vote no. But they also, the funny thing is that we're talking about how much it costs. They had an issue with the ballot distribution, I believe it was. And so it cost even more money to
Oh, yeah. I saw they did a mistake on the ballots, which you are also
paying for.
Now paying for because they made a mistake. Hold on. I want to look at this image. Spencer Pratt, our favorite. Only Governor Gavin Newsom would veto a wildfire prevention bill claiming it's too expensive and then blow money on Prop 50. So that's what this is. He was like, the total cost of his Prop 50 election over $251 million.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny because, this is kind of insane.
I also love that he did a press conference 2 weeks ago and was like, "Why isn't the administration giving us fire aid? We're going bankrupt. We're going bankrupt, and the federal government is not sending us fire aid. However, what we're going to do is spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a special election that." The people no one wanted. No one asked for. The people didn't ask for. Everyone's comparing this to the recall election for Gavin Newsom.
We wanted that
because it was initiative by the people. Yes. This is our lawmakers saying that we want to steal power away from our citizens, and so we're going to redistrict. You have nothing to say about it, and just because everyone hates President Trump, you guys are going to vote yes. And so the rest of us are going to get screwed because we're actually smart.
That's what's crazy about the messaging on this. So the Democrats for this have a very low budget because I've seen on TikTok, it's just a bunch of random people that are not, wealthy, successful. These are random kids on TikTok.
They have a large budget.
And when they talk about it, they talk about Trump. That's all they talk about. So they go, Trump, vote yes.
But that's the entire shtick. That's all they need because all the Democrats in this state are just they hate Trump so much. It's just
anti-Trump. That's all they have to do.
It's just anti-Trump. It does not matter what they do. If it has to do with Trump, they are going to vote against it every single time. This redistricting literally has nothing to do with President Trump. Nothing to do with President Trump.
Yeah, it's us. However, Texas, which doesn't even make sense.
It's us in Texas, which is stupid. And also, the Democrats are really dumb for picking this fight in the first place. If we really want to play this redistricting game, I'm personally against partisan gerrymandering myself.
Yeah.
However, with all the states that are trying to redistrict, regardless if both Texas and California's redistricting maps get passed, then the Republicans are still set to pick up at least 5 seats. And this is on the very conservative estimate. 5 seats. Up to, I think, 13 seats was the largest, the largest gain that I've seen. So it's this is a lose-lose for the Democrats anyways. They're just interested in I can't speak English, screwing over their constituents here in California.
Yeah. Which is California too. Is I hate to say it. I think we are the most corrupt state out of all of them. But I'm watching this and I'm they're smart the way they do the language. It's just very much hey, this is Trump bad. Sorry, we have videos for this. My bad, guys.
California, the whole nation is counting on you. Democracy is on the ballot November 4th. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. With Prop 50, you can stop Republicans in their tracks.
Do you think it's crazy they accuse us of rigging elections, even though literally every single shady thing that's ever occurred has happened under their watch, and we even know statistically it wasn't possible for Biden to win that election. Mm-hmm. Also, what they're doing with Prop 50 envelopes, where if you check no, you can see it checks no. But I'm do you not think it's weird that Obama's stepping into this when this is more of not a local thing, but this is California thing? So why is he stepping in?
Well, like I said, they have a large budget for marketing for this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they think that Obama's going to be this all-star that's going to help push it through. Obama's effectively irrelevant in political life. Really nobody cares.
Yeah, he's narrating Planet Earth.
Yeah. Honestly, the only time Barack Obama is relevant is when people are debating whether Michelle is a man
or not. That is the only time he's brought up in conversation, and he won't. It's kind of weird. Okay, you know what I always think about with that? This is very off topic, but just really quick. If I watched the world debating if my wife was a man, I would step in and be are you guys insane? But it's the fact that he doesn't step in and say anything, and she doesn't defend it either. One pregnancy photo, one test, DNA test, whatever it is. That's why I think it's so weird to be we're just gonna ignore this.
Ignore it. At least the Macrons are no, this is not true. They won't give any hard evidence, which is really funny. But at least they're fighting it in the public eye, which is really funny.
I'm excited to see what happens with that, actually. They're gonna
Me too. But I do love that the Obamas just kind of ignore that this even happens. Because I guarantee you, if he just came out and was just said that this was a stupid
The older he gets, he looks like Hussein. His real name. The older he gets, he literally looks like when they captured Osama bin Laden, when he was hiding in the cave for that long. That's who he's slowly turning into. Well, I know what he's up to. So we have AB 260. Gavin Newsom signs AB 260 into law on September 26, 2025, as part of a broader effort to protect reproductive rights in California. This legislation allows healthcare providers to prescribe abortion medication anonymously. Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, you get to kill more babies.
Yeah.
And I don't have my name attached to it, basically.
Yeah. No liability.
No liability whatsoever. I mean, I'm against abortion in all cases, so I think that the women that actually have these abortions, especially like purely elected abortions that aren't for any sort of medical reasoning or even in cases of like rape and incest, which
like
again
inconvenience.
So just that it's inconvenience, and hey, I don't want to take ownership over my responsibilities.
No,
but yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, effectively, I think all doctors that perform abortions should just be in prison, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the older I get, I mean, I've recently talked about everything after Charlie. I was like, and I talked about it with my girlfriends, and I was shocked that we were on the same page. I was like, I actually can't think of one good reason besides... I don't even understand the incest argument because I'm like, are you like choosing to bang your dad? Or you just like, do your dad rape you? I don't even like, that's like kind of one of those arguments that's so obscure and out there. I'm like, okay, that's like per every like 1 billion cases. We don't even need, if something is that rare, of course I'm fine with it, but we don't even need to discuss it.
Yeah.
It's like discussing like mythical creatures. Like it's really not that relevant.
Well, it's
rape, obviously, which happens way less than people say it does.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the UK, then it's happening one every hour. So good luck over there, guys. But it's like one of those things where I'm like, it's really just like, I mean, they're just for the love of the game.
It's just to emotionally charge the conversation.
Yeah.
That's really all it is because they're the more that they push that narrative, the more that these like dumb college kids, and not all college kids are dumb, obviously, but they're just going to think, oh my gosh, not if, when I get raped, I'm not going to have the right to kill my kid, obviously.
Which
like that. Which again, like,
crazy thought.
Have so much sympathy for women that obviously go through something like that. That is awful. I would never wish it on my worst enemy. But to claim that, you know, this evil deed was done upon me so that doing another evil deed is like justification for it is just kind of ridiculous. And the emotional and moral and spiritual impact on women that do have abortions,
that's never talked about.
Never talked about, but it's so damaging.
Yeah.
Like, people never recover from that because guess what? Like, no matter how much that you want to disassociate from your child growing inside of you, it's a baby. It's a baby, and you're going to eventually, if you don't realize it in the moment, you're probably going to realize it at some point, and that's going to hit you hard.
Yeah,
realizing
it's crazy coming from, like, I was like hardcore pro-choice my whole life until the last couple months, and then it's crazy when I watch like movies and shows, and you know they see like a heartbeat. I'm like, how as a woman are you so detached from like what we were put on this planet to do and to be and become that you can see a heartbeat inside of you and be like, I'm gonna kill that? Like, that's actually crazy. We've turned vaginas into graveyards.
Well, 100%. But actually, if you look at the statistics, women that actually like have ultrasounds and see the heartbeat of their child are like 50 times, like half as likely as to follow through with an abortion. It's like,
I would hope.
No, duh, because guess what? You are actually having to see the actual implications of what you're doing
instead of popping some pills.
Exactly. Instead of disassociating, popping some pill, thinking that it's just some clump of cells when it's really not.
Which
you are a clump of cells.
Yeah, you are. So then kill yourself at that point.
Right, exactly.
Which makes no sense. So am I allowed to kill you and then it's justified because you're just a clump of cells?
Yeah.
But no, the older I get, I just you really it's harder to argue with anything pro-life. I would say the only thing is rape, which is like, once again, a lot more rare. But then the irony of these liberal women are voting men into this country to not only that are rapists that would statistically rape them, and then they're voting for district attorneys and judges that would let these men out of jail to statistically rape them again. And then they're arguing to be like, I have to vote this way because I might get raped. And I'm like, you're going to get raped because your own policies you're voting for, which is like the craziest part about this.
Seriously, though, it's like your own policies. You're trying to save your right to kill your child because in the event that you get raped, and yet you're trying to let all these rapists out of prisons, and you're trying to let the rapists from other countries into our country. So I really don't understand. You're just trying to screw yourself over,
which is what they do, and they don't see the irony. But it's like also, I'm like, wow, I can't believe we imported men from like the top rape countries in the world to then come here.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what's happening in the UK. So that's insane. Also, these pills, like, they're not going to tell these women the side effects, what could happen.
No.
And then one's going to die, and they're going to blame pro-life people.
Exactly. Well, that's what's happened so many times in the
past.
Which
I'm seeing that.
So
I'm starting to see that, and I'm glad that I'm more aware to this, because at this stage in my life, I think it's like crazy. Like, I'm like, there's like literally no reason to have, like, that's crazy that you get to kill a kid because it's inconvenient. Yep. Can I kill you because you're inconvenient?
Right.
If you're blocking me in traffic, traffic. That's convenient.
Yeah.
Or inconvenient. So Newsom signs AB 495 against a global call to protect children and veto the California Nightmare Bill. This image details. So this is this what we were just talking about?
No, this is a different one, actually.
What is this for?
So this one essentially loosens safeguards around your child's protection. Basically, practically a complete stranger can go on to an...
Oh, this is the child trafficking bill.
Yes, this is the child trafficking bill. Yeah,
Got it.
They can go on the internet, print out this affidavit.
Yeah.
No parent signature, nothing. Just you, person that wants to check out said random child from school, has to sign this affidavit, walk into the school administrative office. I'm here to check out little Jimmy.
Yeah.
No confirmation of ID, no parental consent or even notification to the parents, no court hearings, no background checks, nothing. This person gets handed your child.
Yeah.
They can take the child out of school and they have access to all of their education records and decision-making and their medical records and decision-making.
So that's why they're literally, I guess we're calling it the child trafficking bill.
Yep, because
what
they
about
can literally
people in
traffic children.
politics? What if someone was like really hated a Republican, decided, oh, you know what, I'm going to go pretend to be someone and go check their child out and kidnap or kill their kid?
Yep.
That's what I think of.
No, 100%. I mean, you could absolutely use this to target specific people. And that
Insane.
is, I mean, that's not the only scary thing about it, but that is an incredibly scary thing about it. And like, I've talked to attorneys, and I know that Pastor Jack Hibbs out of Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, is doing a lot of work on, or has been doing a lot of work in terms of AB 495 and getting the message out there. But him and I both have talked to attorneys, and it's been said that by like constitutional attorneys that we've talked to, that this will be used to, or could be used to, essentially kidnap children that are not on school property and aren't even residents of the state of California due to how loose the language is on the bill. The whole point of this, says the Democrats, is to essentially protect children of illegal migrants if their parents essentially get arrested by ICE and taken back to their country of origin.
Yeah.
However, this applies to all children,
and
they will not be protected if they are in private school. And like I said, the language is so loose, it could potentially be used to kidnap kids that aren't on school grounds and that aren't even residents of the state of California.
And I also think they're using it to gaslight us and be like, this is protecting all kids, when really this is about endangering all kids and being able to take more guardianship away from the parents, as they like to do, and strip those rights constantly. But also, once again, so this is to prioritize protecting illegal kids, in their own words, over our children.
Well, and there's another agenda that we've talked about a lot in California, this whole transgender medical transitioning in terms of kids. This bill will give these people access to your children's medical records and decision making. So, I'm little Sarah's mom, right? I do not want Sarah to become Timmy. Okay, I tell the school this, the school says, oh, okay, said school counselor or whatever sees that parent is denying, little Timmy.
Go put the parents in jail.
Exactly, right? Well, they tried doing that already. Yeah. But now, potential school counselor could just take little Sarah / Timmy and take him.
Cut their dick off or whatever they do at public schools now. I can't keep up with all this.
I know, me neither.
We have hopefully this is Priya's favorite person. We have Ricardo Lara. I actually was not aware of this person, so I'm going to let her take it away. Who is he?
So Ricardo Lara is our insurance commissioner here in California.
What is that? I don't even know, what does that do?
He basically regulates and safeguards all the insurance issues in California. And as a lot of people probably know, we have a major insurance crisis in California.
Yeah.
Major insurance crisis, not only when it comes to automobile insurance and things like that, but home insurance. Because guess what? We have a wildfire issue here in California. Yeah. And, the state very notoriously cannot keep brush down or do any of that maintenance that they're supposed to do with our taxpayer dollars. Yeah. We have the highest taxes in the country, and yet they are incapable of achieving this. Yeah. But insurance rates are skyrocketing for homeowners because of wildfire insurance.
Yep.
People are getting their insurance canceled. We had issues pre the Palisades. I think all of that, due to lawsuits, was fixed. But there were so many people that had their homeowners insurance canceled a week before the Palisades.
It happened
fire.
to one of my friends.
Yeah, and it's just bonkers. So clearly he's not particularly good at his job in the first place.
Yeah, I was going to say, so he sucks at his job because this is like the worst state for all of those things. Yep. Especially I'm like, someone hit my car recently, left a note. I got my car fixed. Boom, my car insurance is $50 more a month. Yep. And then half the time the other person's illegal and doesn't have insurance. Yeah, exactly. And then we all saw everything that happened with the homes. What's important, though, is he's the first openly LGBTQ plus statewide elected official in California history. Oh, and a son of immigrants. And uses pronouns, he, him, his. So we know that, his job doesn't matter, but his qualifications are that he's gay and his parents were immigrants. So that's who he is.
We can talk about his gayness a little bit more because Ricardo Lara has taken, at the very least, 48 taxpayer-funded trips since taking office in 2019. Only, I believe it's 7 of which have confirmed...
Sorry.
This picture.
Okay.
Is amazing.
Hold on, we need to talk about the phone.
We talk about this picture.
So this is an image of him in a shirt that says fag. So this is someone with a job.
Oh, not only a job, he represents you. He represents the whole state of California when it comes to insurance.
To be fair, I do like the shirt. I'd actually like to wear a matching shirt while I interview him. But continue on about him.
That would be brilliant, honestly. We should just have him come in for an interview.
Jesus, I mean, these people,
they're nuts. They're nuts. This is actually ridiculous. But anyway, so he's taken at least 48 taxpayer-funded trips since taking office in 2019.
I haven't had a vacation in 7 years.
Right? Well, guess what? Only 7 of them have confirmed business-related things going on said trips, mind you. He's taken luxury safaris in Africa.
Oh, this was him.
Yes, this was him.
Oh, we covered him last week.
Oh, did you?
I was like, African safaris are like $1 million, by the way. I hope everyone knows that.
Safaris. Yeah. He spends like
Columbia gay thing?
Yeah. No. It's he went to New York for Pride Fest. And decided to go bar hopping with I think it was just a drag queen. I still call them trannies, though. A tranny
Same.
DJ.
Yeah.
Called DJ Kitty Glitter.
DJ Kid.
Honestly, might as well be.
Yeah.
Might as well be.
I'm like, we know what's up.
But this was all paid for by your taxpayer dollars.
It's crazy, too, because it's my money and these people hate me.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part about it. If I was on their team, I'd be like, whatever, Kitty Glitter and the state. And I always tell people, I'm fine with all the corruption as long as the state is perfect. If the streets are clean, the trash guy's coming, the homeless people aren't stabbing me.
The problem is that the money it takes to fix all these issues, they want for themselves, though, so they can't do that.
Yeah, so they don't fix the issue, and then they go to, have $1 million safari and be gay on my dime. We have a video.
Lara made at least 46 trips across the country and all over the world. But as we found out, a significant chunk of the records are missing, and the state has been unable to provide them, including work-related trips where he is pictured or listed as a speaker in Singapore, Cape Town, South Africa, Dublin, Costa Rica, Chile, Egypt, Tokyo, Glasgow, and Dubai, plus a handful of trips to these states. With that said, the trip receipts we do have are not cheap. For context, records show Illinois' insurance commissioner spent $680 for the entire year of 2022. Meanwhile, during the first 6 months of Lara's term, his cross-country and international trips cost taxpayers more than $33,000.
He's bottle popping, rooftops, 5-star hotels.
Yep, all of it. First-class flights.
First class.
Security.
The irony of security, too. But I'm like, you guys.
Yeah, the irony of security,
when you find out, okay, first of all, I work 24/7. I don't get to go on vacations. I only get to travel for work. And then I get to fund people who literally hate me and vote to ruin my life, make it expensive, and put it in danger. This is the problem with specifically California politics, too. You realize why everyone's so corrupt. Because as long as you're fine with just being a piece of shit with no moral backbone, which is why there's not conservatives in charge, and you have no God in your life, and you're just like some flaming weirdo who loves satanic drag queens, you can just have a great life, take all of our money, everybody over, be corrupt because you have no moral compass. And then the irony is people like that gaslight people like us. And I'm like, how are you guys not upset? If you are broke in Los Angeles and you have a shitty job, shitty home life, do you not look at this and this should piss you off?
100%. Well, especially when, let's be real, taxes hit most of us incredibly hard. incredibly hard. And so when you're trying to come up with the money to pay your taxes and you sit here and you see people like this just jumping off on luxury vacations, going to a speaking engagement in Singapore and then staying an extra 2 weeks for a little vacation on your dime, you're telling me that you think that that's okay? You're telling me that you are fine with them doing that and you continue to vote for these people? Yeah. Like, that's the problem.
What the does this have to do with California?
Nothing.
What the are you in Singapore and Africa for when you're the insurance person of California? That fine. You know what? You can go from Riverside to Bakersfield on my dime.
Seriously.
That's fine.
Seriously, why are you bottle popping with a tranny DJ in New York? Please tell me how that is benefiting me and the insurance crisis in this state. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, meanwhile, everyone's homes are burning to the ground. They can't get insurance. It's through the roof. Someone's hitting my car. I'm getting I have to pay more money for it. And then he gets to go do all... I love how they always have security.
100%. And the governor's fine with it.
Of course.
The governor's office has to sign off on all these expenses. So...
What? I will volunteer for that job because I want all these expenses coming in and I want to be like, oh, $35,000 for an African safari train for an hour.
Them to me if they're committing some
That's the thing. You have to realize all Democrats, this is why I'm saying all Democrats are evil. I don't care. They're all corrupt. Everyone who takes these jobs is completely morally bankrupt. That's why there's no Republicans or conservatives. And also, if there was, we'd realize we're spending all this money on bullshit. And I've said it so many times, I don't even care about the corruption as long as things function and work properly, but we live in hell. And then I see this shit. I'm like, are you kidding me?
For the rest of the country, I know that they all look at California and they're like, ugh, California. I don't think people even realize how bad it is, though.
It's very bad.
It's really bad. I'm sure you have too, but I've had so many conversations with friends that live in, Florida or wherever. And I'm like, no. California Democrats are not the same as Florida Democrats.
No, they're insane.
Not remotely. Like, all the California Democrats are far left extremists. There are no moderate Democrats in California. It is just simply not possible. And if you are a moderate Democrat, look at what they did to Gavin Newsom when he tried to kind of, quote unquote, bridge the gap a little earlier this year. They completely eat their own if they don't fall in line with their agenda. That's just what it is.
No, that's why I was like, there's no one normal. The Democrats here are the far left. They're like Portland people, which is the only place that's actually worse than here. And we see it, but I just don't know why normal people aren't upset. Normal liberal Democrats that I still interact with, I never hear them upset about this shit. And I'm like, yeah, but you're broke and your life sucks. So why do you not care?
They choose not to pay attention to it. That's what it is.
Well,
they choose not to pay it. Exactly. It's very convenient because then it just doesn't burden them increasingly. So it does the rest of us that actually pay attention and want to fix these issues. But just anything that the bad orange man does, we vote against.
We vote against it. Well, we have more good news. Reparations in California. It's like...
No, not even reparations.
Reparations
office. An office for the reparations that don't exist. We have a reparations office, but we have no cash fund to be dispersed. And
we're broke.
Yep.
We're in debt. We have no money.
But we have this dream. I have a dream.
Yeah.
I have a dream that
one day we will disperse white people's money into people's pockets that were never slaves.
Not also only white people's money, though.
But also, if it's reparations money, you're not only taking from white, you would take from the whole state. So you're actually taking money from people who could have been descendants of slaves. That's kind of funny.
But also, the state of California never allowed slavery. Never allowed slavery. Quite literally, when California was taken, and this was the whole, not the entire purpose, but one of the main purposes of the Union adopting California was to balance out the slave states from the free states. And California was always a free state. Slavery was always illegal when we adopted our Constitution in 1850. Always illegal. So I don't understand why California specifically feels indebted to all these black people that were allegedly descendants of slaves.
They're not here.
This had nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with us. And mind you, it had nothing to do with us that are alive today. Not remotely.
I'm like, what the do I have to do with that? I'm a slave today. I work 24/7. You don't see me asking for handouts.
We're all economic slaves at this point, to be honest with you. But I'm sorry, I never owned slaves. My family never owned slaves even, but I never owned slaves.
Sorry, we were poor Irish. We were the slaves. They remember how the Irish people were treated? Yeah, okay. Everyone was treated like shit at one point.
My family from India were sent to Africa as slaves, so
so what do we get? I don't understand. You know, but
why
we
don't
know
I
what
get
this
reparation
is.
of
Yeah, no, but also to be fair, we do give reparations.
Yeah.
No offense. If you want to make this a black versus white issue, which they do because you can't sell it any other way, we give reparations. We get, I mean, in every aspect you can think about it.
So many
EBT,
handouts.
food stamps, handout, college tuition, DEI, getting jobs you're not qualified for, getting into schools you're not qualified for. We pay for all that. That is reparations, okay? So we already give that. This is another way for Gavin Newsom to funnel money to more Democrats to do pretend jobs, to act like they're virtue signaling, doing something, while it goes into their own pockets. People like that literal fag that was on TV.
Yeah.
And people like Gavin Newsom and his wife and all this bullshit. That's all this is. And also, it just doesn't even make sense.
No, it does. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't even make. We're broke. We don't have money.
No, we are literally so far in debt to the point where we're going to literally go bankrupt, and the federal government is going to cut us off. And you're telling me that opening an office for reparations is
But
who's
going to
priority?
Want this?
Well,
liberals, Democrats, black people.
of course. But the thing is that we're talking about like the financial issue that we have in this state. This office, not the reparations that are going to be dispersed through said office, that don't exist yet. This office is going to cost somewhere in between $3 and $5 million to run annually. What is the point? What exactly is the point to have something like this, especially if there's quite literally nothing to disperse?
No,
I don't understand.
There's no
understand.
Money. We don't have
money. We're just going to give more people, quote unquote, jobs, handouts, to work in this office. And they're not going to do anything.
And realistically, it's just going to be like what? It's going to be all black Democrats working in the office, some white liberals.
That's
it's just like, we literally have reparations. How about reparations for all the white people that went and died so slaves could be free?
Yeah.
Like,
why don't we
count?
just, exactly. Why don't we always, exactly. Why don't we honor the people that fought in the Civil War to free the slaves?
That
seems like that should be more of a priority than the people now that maybe were descendants of slaves, maybe weren't.
Even though we all were.
Exactly. But like us today that have had nothing to do with slavery, whether it be part owning or being, why exactly is that the priority instead of just honoring the people that actually helped free the slaves in the first place?
What if like my grandparents were actually enslaved or slaves? So like, also, what are you going to give me? This is just another way to give black people potentially handouts, and it's not going. They're not going to take that money and change their entire culture and their life overnight.
Of course not.
It's going to go back into like Louis Vuitton. So. That's what they bought during the pandemic. You need stocks in that. So we have a Glock ban. NRA is suing California over the state's ban on Glock-style guns. Because dude, he's always focused on the most like insane shit. It's never anything like good.
It's never anything useful. It's quite literally never anything that's going to benefit us and fix our issues that we actually have here in the state. Never, ever.
Why does he even care about this? All the criminals have guns.
Yeah.
They're robbing us for our Rolexes at the gas stations now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and again, you really think the criminals are the ones that use the guns to commit harmful acts. It's not us. And also, they're not going to give you their Glock just because you suddenly ban it.
Yeah.
They're really not. That's why like any sort of buyback program that the liberals try and propose is never going to work either.
Oh, you think the criminals are going to go voluntarily turn their guns in?
Uh-huh. Yep.
No, it's just the good people. It's just the people. I tell people the two most important things in the world. Number one, you never give up your guns, no matter what. Two's free speech. So why isn't free speech number one? I go, well, without the guns, you don't have free speech. Mm-hmm. So it's that simple. Look at the UK. How's it going over there when they're arresting you in the middle of the night because you criticized a Muslim?
Yeah. Well, I'm like, I'm sorry. So you claim that we have a gun issue in the US?
Yeah.
Well, the UK has a rape and a stabbing issue, so I don't really know what's
I'd rather
better,
be
to
shot than stabbed a bunch of times.
Me too.
That's what's crazy. At least the guns here, sometimes they don't use them. Sometimes you can survive. I'm like, do you know how intimate and gnarly it is to be repeatedly stabbed? That girl that was stabbed, Irina, that was stabbed in the neck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'd rather be shot and my head blown off than be stabbed 40 times in the neck, bleeding out while all the black people around me just watch me bleed out on the ground. So sorry, I'm like, that's not how this works.
Also, if you just want to talk about the imbalance in a quote unquote knife fight versus a gun fight, like if you or I got into an altercation with a large man with a gun, we would at least stand a chance.
Yeah, with a knife?
Absolutely not. And that's even like given the fact that we might both have knives, right? Like there's quite literally no comparison. The gun is the only thing that somewhat balances out our ability to protect ourselves.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. Like, for me to be able to defend myself from all the lunatics that exist in this world, I think I deserve something that's going to give me a little bit of an advantage.
Not pepper spray, not a taser, not a knife. You can also go around with a knife and stab 20 people. You see in the UK, they go around stabbing kids. And I'm like, once again, they talk about the gun violence here, and I'm like, talk about the rapes and the stabbings there, because they don't like those statistics. We have Newsom trolling failures because whoever's doing his X account just needs to be fired.
I think they're literally brain dead, to be honest with you. It's like so bad.
It's like a fat Democrat.
It's really bad.
He has a meme calling Joe Rogan snack size. This is gonna well, you know what's so funny? It will backfire when Joe Rogan's interviewing people for the next round of politics, the next president. So we have a tweet. He's calling out Joe Rogan.
I bet you he would never do Joe Rogan show.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't. He's probably. No. I mean, I don't know that he's been invited, but he probably has.
I'm sure he has. See, that's the thing. This is going to backfire because when elections come back around, he's going to be like, well, weren't you, like, you can come on my show. He'll fail on the show if he goes on, but he's also going to be like, well, weren't you, like, talking shit to me?
Yeah.
He said, Joe Rogan is a snack-sized podcaster who can't stop talking about me, obsessed, crush. You know, here's the thing, you guys. Like, obviously, this isn't him tweeting this stuff. It's some sort of intern, but you read this and you're like, this is so cringe. When you have so many problems in your state.
So many problems, but I love this. I love how he's just trying to battle Trump. Like, you're not going to be running against Trump in 2028.
No.
And also, this angle of I'm going to beat Trump by being Trump is just pretty ironic to me.
You could never beat Trump.
No.
That's why you would never win. And if he runs for president, he has no shot.
No.
He's outraged over Trump's trolling, but he does the same thing. Well, that's the funny thing is when we do something, it's different.
Exactly.
And it's okay if they do it.
Rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah.
Rather than having a serious meeting, decided to troll those leaders with a Trump 2028 hat that he put on the Resolute desk and sent out a tweet after he sent out an AI video doctored with a racist video of Speaker Jeffries in a sombrero. These are not serious people.
Anytime I see these things, there's always people standing around. I'm always like, who the fuck are these people that they hired to like stand behind them?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't get it. The seriousness is it's just so funny.
And then meanwhile, he's like
he's doing the
trolling
exact
on
same
Twitter
thing
24/7. But the best comment section was, they posted Trump in like a Marie Antoinette looking thing.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, so you agree a man dressed as a woman is hilarious?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, finally got you there.
Yeah.
So we have an image. 13 LA County employees are charged with stealing over $400,000 in unemployment benefits.
Shocker.
Fraud in Los Angeles, California.
Oh my gosh, never been seen before.
$400,000 in unemployment benefits. Over the past 2 days, I actually had so many more topics for this, but you'll just have to come back because there was literally so much fraud. First, there was the fraud with like the gay man.
Yeah.
Then there was all this fraud. Now I'm seeing COVID fraud, which I knew was going to happen, is coming out. And then also the stolen election ballots recovered at a homeless camp. If you saw that?
Oh my gosh, I think that was in Sacramento, actually. That was crazy.
They're just like sprawled on the floor.
Just a bunch of them sitting on the floor. And it's like, how, where, why are they there? I want to know. And whose ballots were stolen? And are they getting their ballots in time for the election?
Which is good, because now we can talk about the fact that I would like to talk about my ballot, okay? So ever since I registered as Republican, miraculously, the same with my father, he always has been, but he said the past, I believe, like 4 years, I voted 3 times in my life. It's been for Trump every time. And I was telling her when we were texting, I said, every single time now, my ballot never comes. And I can't track it. I go to the ballot tracking thing, everything. And I even was like, I'm trying to vote. No, I'm Prop 50. And I'm like, what's going on? And it looks and it says my ballot was sent on the 3rd and it's just nowhere to be found.
And after you and I talked about that, you're not the only one. I've had multiple people text me or DM me being like, I haven't gotten my ballot yet. Yeah. When do voting centers open? And I'm like, and I found it to be very much exclusive to LA County and Sacramento County, very ironically, at least from what I have had personal experience with. But it is very, very strange. Yeah. All registered Republicans, obviously. And it's like,
I haven't heard Democrats talking about issues with their ballots.
Like, I haven't heard about any Democrats not like missing their ballots or anything like that. So I'm kind of confused.
So let me get this straight. Since I registered Republican, my ballot just doesn't come anymore. Then when I went to go vote for Trump, they made a mistake on the machine. You had to actually scroll to a different page that was like last on a list. Then we had some issues where when you were registered Republican, it was like somehow showing up on your ballot last time around. So there was those issues. Now there's these issues. When I go to vote no, you can automatically see it. So you can also throw my ballot away. Also, all the people working at these places are hardcore liberal, and I do not trust them. They're super weird. Anytime we would go in there, and they threw a whole scene because I had a MAGA hat on last time, which is so fun. I'm like, bro, I'm going to vote. What the does it matter if I have a MAGA hat? I'm going to vote for MAGA.
Yeah.
Like, they legally made me place my hat like 200 yards away in a bush or some shit. It was
then
crazy.
We would see somebody walk in with like a Harris Waltz shirt.
Yeah, this bitch had a shirt on. I was like, so make her take her shirt off and say she can't vote. You said legally this applies to me. I respected it because I respect the laws. I'm not a Democrat. But then I was like, oh, her fat ass can have a Kamala t-shirt on and it's okay.
Of course.
But I'm like, and then now we have ballots sprawled over the street at a homeless camp. They're clearly grabbing them. They're throwing them away. And I saw the stats that came in for vote no on 50. And I mean, no wonder we lose everything. I think Republicans are not getting their ballots. The ballots are something's happening, whether they're being thrown away. But I'm telling you, somehow every Democrat in California is voting for this and it's all going through in the system.
Yeah, well, let me tell you right now, Republicans in California are extremely lazy, unfortunately. And we're very much seeing that in the results of Prop 50.
Yeah.
This should be... Notoriously, Republicans have had really, really good turnouts for special elections, and Democrats tend to have really low turnouts for special elections in the state of California. We should be winning this. We're not doing well.
No, it's really
bad. And people are really, really lazy. Like, if no one's if you're a Republican in the state of California and you're not talking about Prop 50 or going and knocking doors or something, you are lazy. I'm sorry. You just are. Go and tell 10 friends to vote no on Prop 50. It's really not that hard.
I tell people, I'm like, I have a thing for signatures right now. I bring it in here when I'm in here. Anytime I have all my friends come over, I have them sign. I do everything I can. If I can do more, everyone knows. Like, I'm free. Reach out to me. I'm here. But I'm just like, I was like seeing the numbers and I was like, this is crazy. And if you don't vote, it's so simple. I'm like, look, I get it. We're the ones with families. We have jobs. We have careers. They're like probably getting paid to go out and vote and do all this shit. And we're not. And that sucks. But when I see the numbers coming, I'm like, you guys, you don't get to complain if you don't go out and vote. We are successful enough. We have the time. I don't give a shit. Get a babysitter for an hour, whatever you have to do. Like, that's not an excuse when so much is on the line and it's your money.
Yep. You have the time. I guarantee you can carve out an hour of your time after October 25th is when voting centers open. Before that, you can even drop off your ballot if you already have it. But October 25th, voting centers open. You can it's probably not even going to take you an hour. It'll probably take you 30 minutes, even if that.
And you literally you do this.
Yep. You literally just fill in a little circle.
There it is. And then they take it and then they throw it away. And that's it. And that's all you guys have to do. And then they see that it says no and you're, registered, whatever. And then they take it, they throw your ballot. But like, that's literally all you have to do.
It's really
There's
not
no
that
excuse.
hard. Although I will think the Democrats are just so sleazy in this state. I can't.
I know.
Did you read the language on Prop 50 on the ballot?
No, but I know for a fact the language is always extremely manipulated.
Oh, it's incredibly
without
dubious.
Anything they do. What did it say?
So dubious. I can read it real fast.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know how that's why I tell people, when you vote, you have to read things, but you also have to talk to other people because what you're reading is not really what you think it is.
No, they make it sound so great, like it's this temporary thing and all this, that, and the other. Prop 50 authorizes temporary changes to congressional district maps in response to Texas's partisan redistricting. We already talked about earlier how the language in the bill does not even pertain to Texas anymore. It doesn't. It's going to get passed, and the maps will go into effect regardless if Texas's maps go into effect. Legislative constitutional amendment requires temporary use of new congressional district maps through 2030, directs Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission to resume enacting congressional maps or district maps in 2031, establishes policy supporting nonpartisan redistricting commissions nationwide. The fiscal impact, one-time cost to counties of up to a few $1 million statewide to update election materials to reflect new congressional district maps. Oh, what happened to the $282,000?
They're like, it'll cost you a couple bucks.
Exactly. $282 million is what this election is going to cost.
That alone, even if you are a
Yeah.
Democrat and liberal, take the Trump thing out of it because it's a lie. Even that alone, is that what you want your money going to?
Yeah. But also, they're talking about, a few $1 million per county. That's a lot.
That's still a lot of money.
That's a lot of money if you add it up, statewide. But a lot of these counties are relatively small and don't have large budgets, mind you.
Yeah.
So I love that how this is very, very, again, manipulative, but also very loose in the language as far as what the fiscal impact is going to be. It's ridiculous. I don't vote no on Prop 50.
So I look like a hostage.
Gun to your head.
I know.
No.
Vote no, guys.
Vote no.
Yeah, it's really not that hard. It's one thing. I mean, look, when it's the bigger elections, I have to sit with people and I do like the voter guide. I explain that. But it's so funny. I tell people, like, look, even if you're a lazy piece of shit, just vote for the important ones. Like district attorney, president, I get all of that.
Yeah. At
but
the very least, like, don't.
I go through every single thing.
Me too. And Republicans need to get out of this framework in California that your vote doesn't mean anything. I get it. It's a major, major hump that we have to get over. But if you don't get out there, how do you expect us to get out of this hole that we've dug ourselves into? Like, how do you think that this is ever going to change? All the corruption, all these manipulative Democrats that are controlling the state, and all of the issues that they have literally caused for us.
For you.
How do you think that we're going to get out of this if you don't do anything?
If you don't do the most simple thing.
The most basic thing that you could do is, at the very least, go vote no.
That's why I worry if you can't do the bare minimum, then I don't see how we're ever going to get out of this.
No.
I feel like they put all the pressure on, like, people like us. And they're like, oh, you go do it all. You do the research. You get the vote out there. You go get people to vote. I'm like, no. We're just telling you. You have to go do it. The power is actually within you. It's not within me. I'm only one vote.
Yeah.
People act like my vote means 1 million votes. No, it means one.
Yeah.
Which is the most frustrating part about all of it, because I'm like, even the people closest to me, like, I don't vote, whatever.
Yep.
It's fake, it's rigged, I don't care. And I'm like, well, then you might as well just give the power directly to them.
Exactly. And guys, we're trying. We're trying to get the message out there. We're trying to educate as many people as possible and explain the language of the bill and the impact of everything. But you guys are the ones that actually have to go out there and vote. We can't do it for you. We can't take your ballot and go submit it for you.
Wish I could.
Wish I could.
Yeah.
But you have to do that yourselves. And unfortunately, Democrats just take the initiative and we don't in this state.
They do.
That's the really, really unfortunate and sad truth.
That's the thing here. They show up.
They really do.
They plan their day around voting.
Yeah.
They're throwing parties afterwards.
Yep.
And then we don't.
Yeah.
And that's the most frustrating part. And I'm like, yeah, you guys, like, my vote doesn't actually hold more power than yours. I'm sure to them, for some reason, it seems like that. But watching even, like, some of my best friends, like, I've never voted before. I'm like, well, you're voting this year, okay? Or else we're not friends anymore.
Well, and I don't think people are realizing the long-term impacts of Prop 50 if Prop 50 passes. They claim that this is going to be temporary. Do not fall for that BS for even a second. The second that nobody is looking, they're going to vote this into law. It's not going to remain temporary until 2030, although that alone is going to have such a negative impact on the state.
It's still going to cost us money.
It's still going to cost us money, and it's also still just going to screw our state even more.
Yeah.
But if this passes, it is not going to be temporary. They will write this into law, and we're never going to get an independent commission back.
Yeah.
We seriously never will. And not even, I mean, it's not that the independent commission didn't have its flaws in the first place, but it's at least better than our politicians quite literally writing the maps for themselves. Yeah. They are just trying to secure their seats forevermore so that we're only going to be in corrupt Democrat hands for the rest of time.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm sorry, every day here is so bad that I'm like, this isn't something we could just put off for the future. I will say, though, I actually think we have a shot of having a Republican governor, which is kind of insane because the Democrats going against them are terrible.
I really hope so, because I mean, it's really, really early to get super excited, but the race is looking promising in terms of its potential. So I'm very excited about that.
The top Democrat was Katie Porter, was it not?
It was Katie Porter, and Katie Porter just like quite literally self-imploded.
She's insane. We covered her, and I'm like, she's like abusing people on camera, throwing mashed potatoes at her husband, beating the shit out of him or something.
I'm sorry, this is all on camera. Imagine how she treats people off camera.
That's what I said. I said these Democrats are always the most like abusive, vile, heinous, like people. Worst people off camera.
Yeah. Like,
I bet all
don't get
the
it.
people, Republicans that were doing the gas chamber jokes are actually quite lovely in person.
Probably.
And I bet they don't throw mashed potatoes on their husband.
Like, I'm so sorry that some 20-year-old boys made a crass joke. So sorry. Get over yourself,
literally.
please. We literally have candidates for Democrat positions wishing for the death of their opponents and their opponents' wives and kids.
And children.
And all of the Democrat Party is like, whatever.
Only 7%.
It's okay.
Only 7% said they actually care that he said that.
Yeah, exactly.
And are
of course.
against it.
Of course that's the case. Of course that's
This is why I don't know when people are like, you go so hard in the paint on your opinions now. And I'm like, only 7% of Democrats think me and my future children and future husband should die.
Yeah.
Shouldn't die.
Yeah. Exactly.
I go, does that seem a little...
Like, the majority of the Democrat Party wishes for all of us to literally get shot and killed like they killed Charlie Kirk.
And like, and I'm not only celebrate it.
Exactly. And cheer for it.
Yeah.
Worldwide cheer for it, right?
Like, have a parade.
And exactly. And me having a little harsher of a delivery is really an issue.
Yeah.
And some college kids making some dumb jokes is really an issue. Stop pandering to these people.
I know.
Seriously, stop pandering to these people that literally want you dead. Okay?
Yeah.
Just stop. It's really stupid. And this is why they continue to win, because as evil as they are, they band together. And we create divide in our own party time after time after time over stupid stuff like this. And I'm sorry. Nobody out there is perfect, okay?
Yeah.
We both have made stupid comments. Everybody has made stupid comments. Do I think that some dumb 20-year-old kid making a dumb joke should have their lives ruined?
No.
Absolutely not. And also, you can generally tell if a joke is actually a joke or if it's something that they truly believe. And I guarantee you all these kids actually
they're all
joking.
jokes. And of course, they cut and skewed it. But I'm like, the Republican Party, and Matt Walsh tweeted about this. Me and Xavier had some things to say to it. He was like, the inside fighting has to stop. We're going to lose the next election. The Israel-Palestine bullshit has to stop.
Yep.
It's not our country.
Seriously.
It's not. I have your opinions on it. Support it. Don't support it.
I'm so tired of every conversation being about Israel and Palestine. I'm
it's not our country.
So tired of it. I do not blame anybody for having fatigue when it comes to that conflict.
Yeah, everyone's tired.
Everyone's
I'm tired.
just tired of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's not that I don't care, but it's not my country, and we have so many issues here to focus on. That should be the priority.
Yeah.
Not asking the New York mayoral candidate first thing what he thinks about Gaza. Okay.
Yeah, who cares?
I don't care, and he has no control over foreign policy.
No,
so
thank God.
why does that even matter? I care about what he's going to do for New York City, and that's what New York City residents should care about.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't understand. And
the Israel-Palestine shit, gotta stop. Stop talking about it. All the people that put their energy into defending either should be putting that energy into defending America and Americans. Mm-hmm. And I tell people, I'm like, we're treating each other like we're the enemy. Meanwhile, they're praising our murder.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, so while you're arguing with me about being a chill and I think you support God knows what, they're literally threatening to kill us and overtake power, ban free speech, and take our guns away. So let's focus on that.
Exactly.
The stupid trad bullshit on the right has to end. Every bitch that argues with me about being trad and says they're traditional has a full-time job while a Annie takes care of their children, or the bitch doesn't even have children. Yeah. So that's a whole nother thing. So the Israel-Palestine stuff has to end. The feminism bullshit has to end. All the fighting on the incel fighting of like, you're actually too far right, you're not right enough, the anti-Semitism, the race, it all has to be done.
It really does. And Matt made a phenomenal point when it comes to that, because I was really appalled when the National Young Republicans basically said, we don't agree with all of these kids all have to resign from their positions, this, that, and the other. And it's like, no. Matt made a great point. Guess what? You reach out to these kids individually and say, hey, this language, this type of behavior has to stop.
It's not tolerated here.
Exactly. It's not tolerated here. You handle it internally. Yeah. You don't issue a public memo like that, basically disbanding these kids. Yeah. What does that tell them, A? And B, what does that tell? I just don't understand why is a stupid mistake that you make as a kid going to affect you for the rest of your life? It just shouldn't be that way, to be honest with you. We're all young and dumb at some point in time. Yeah. I'm still young and dumb. Let's be real. But that is not something that your entire life should be ruined over.
Yeah.
Like, it is just stupid. And this is the type of stuff that just needs to stop in our party.
No, it has to stop. It's we're so pinned against each other on every topic.
Yeah.
This person's a rhino. I'm not voting for JD Vance. What are you going to vote for, Kamala? Like, what do you mean? Who are you going to? They're not America first enough. Bro, at this point, be thankful it's a American running with how bad things are here. So let's start there. But I'm sick of it because even as Matt says that, and I do agree with him, I'm like, but you were just calling me an irrelevant, dumb retard last week, Matt, and calling people like me and Xavier with some of the biggest platforms irrelevant. I mean, you have like Brett Cooper shading me for being irrelevant. Oh, I'm sorry I wasn't propped up by the Daily Wire and millions of people were forced to watch me. You're going to call me irrelevant, but you have to talk about me on your show? Name a viral Brett Cooper clip. I'll wait. Anyone? No? Name a viral clip of mine. There's thousands to choose from. I'm sick of being told I'm irrelevant. Cool, go do the farm girl lifestyle. I think it's cute. I think you're great for the party. I think the most vanilla influencers, Isabel Brown, Brett Cooper, I don't give a shit. They know I feel this way. Like, I actually think they're great for the party. Do they support me? No, they don't. But I think they're great. I think it's a good part of the party.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on them.
It's all the shade throwing.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Like,
and if your ring's small, I'm going to talk shit to you, and that's fine. That doesn't mean I think you should go vote Democrat. It just means if you're going to notoriously attack me online, once in a while I'm going to pop back. But at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. I support those girls. I think they're good at what they do in that sense. But to throw shade at me and never support me is like kind of crazy. What do you want me to be, a Democrat? Great. I'll go take vacations and go on tours in wherever, Africa.
Well, and that's the thing, is that like everyone just kind of has to realize that most of us obviously don't have it as good as our counterparts on the other side.
They have it great.
We're all in it for the same reason and because we truly believe in it. Now, not all of us, but some of us differ slightly in opinions.
Yeah.
And that is perfectly fine. And we can have debates over those opinions. Yeah. You and I differ on quite a few
Same
things.
With the pro-life, pro-choice shit. I'm like, is it worth losing a election? Let them go kill their kids. Literally, let them. Dude, it is not worth the country being taken over to try to stop people who are going to kill their kids either way. Let them. We don't believe that. Let them stop reproducing. That's the best overall outcome, less voters.
But that's actually a really good point, because when it comes to, I mean, I think that is an incredibly, incredibly important issue, but it's not an issue that's going to win you an election if you campaign on it.
An election.
And the problem is that if you put all your effort towards something like that is not going to win you an election, you're never going to make positive strides on that issue because you're not going to get in office.
Yeah. What do we focus on? Immigration.
Exactly. Yep.
Crime. Yep. What affects people every day? The price of everything. Yeah, inflation, crime, and people don't want over illegals everywhere, and they don't want them killing us.
And those are issues that pretty much the entire party, and even extended beyond the Republican Party, was able to band together and vote for President Trump.
Even Democrats.
In November, exactly. Like, these are important issues to everybody.
Yeah.
These are top issues for everybody. And guess what? Abortion might be the top issue for a lot of people, but it's not for everybody.
It's the bottom issue for normal people.
Well, and it's very divided within just even our party. So it's not an issue that you can campaign and run on. Yeah. However, you can make positive strides during your administration for that, and we've seen President Trump do that.
Behind the scenes, though, we need to be like Democrats. We need to lie about everything. We need to gaslight people, lie, just be like, no. Just the next Republican be like, yeah, I'm pro-choice, and then go in and pass a bunch of pro-life legislature. Like, honestly, at this point, it's like, they're so good at the game, and we think being like good people is going to get us far. But I'm like, the incel fighting needs to stop. I don't even get attacked by liberals anymore. I only get attacked by people on my own side. And then when I do make strides to change my opinions on things like pro-life, then they're calling me a chill.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing that needs to stop too. It's like, if you progress in your opinions and you develop new ideas and whatever, like, you're growing
the way you're supposed to.
The way you're supposed to as a person. Like, my opinions and thoughts have developed quite a bit in the last, even just the last year, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the case for everybody throughout their entire lives. And for somebody to change positions is not like a crazy anomaly.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why we need to villainize people for doing that. Sure, yes, confirm that this is an actual true belief of theirs, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, it is.
And like, that is totally fine. But don't like sit here and call them, like a sellout or a shill or whatever because they've just suddenly changed opinions. And it's like, that's not a bad thing. That's actually a very good thing, and we need more people to do that if we're going to get more people on our side.
That's actually the only way we get people on our side. And I'm like, wait, so now you guys shit on me and said I couldn't be a conservative or part of the movement because I was pro-choice. Then I say that I'm pro-life, and then you guys are all like calling me. Trust me, no one pro-life is working with me or paying me $1. Trust me, like if there's a group of people that don't like me, like it's probably them. So I'm like, it's just so annoying, it's so frustrating, and it's like constantly getting attacked. Dude, literally, if a Republican girl wants to post a photo in a bikini, can we just literally, who cares? Who cares? I can't even believe these people have this much time and energy online. It's so exhausting. I have to constantly now like go defend Republican girls, but I see them shit on me all the time, and I'm just like, you guys, literally, like, go for the enemy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's really, really a stupid thing for us to be like giving our energy to. It's really dumb. Again, you can have your disagreements. That's
and also
fine.
the conspiracy accounts. I'm sorry, like the top conspiracy people that are like, you know, like the James and Ian Carrolls and all them. I like them, and they were doing such a good job exposing so much stuff. But now they're getting to the point where I'm like, bro, what? Like, you're just focused on the wrong things. Like, oh, really? The shooter who killed Charlie, he wasn't a Democrat. He wasn't a leftist who was insane. Like, really? Are we getting to this point?
I think the craziest one that I saw, and I don't really pay too much attention to
I started ignoring those accounts.
But like, I still see some of their stuff, but for some reason, a lot of it just wasn't popping up on my algorithm. But then somebody literally sent me this conspiracy video that Erica Kirk was a Freemason. And I was like, please, I can't even tell you how stupid this is.
Yeah.
Like, I really can't. This person was so insistent that I literally had to break down the reasoning for all of these alleged, like, things.
And then they ignore it anyways.
And then they ignore it. And, like, one of it was literally, like, making hand motions. And I was like, oh, like,
we don't do 24/7.
Most people do. I was like, I'm really, really confused at how stupid all of this is.
Yeah.
If you want to find something, you will find it regardless if it's there or not.
That's what I say.
And that's what it is a lot of the times. And we talk about this all the time. We've been quote unquote conspiracy theorists when it comes to COVID and things like that. And guess what? A lot of those are very true.
Yeah.
But you loosen the validity of a lot of those when you go into stupid rabbit holes. Like
that's
this.
what I said.
And it's just it's too much.
They lose me because now I think you're doing this for clicks, likes, views, attention.
Exactly.
And then also you're taking the credibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, you're taking the credibility away from so many things you've been credible on, and those are 2 accounts. Yep. And they attack me for being a shill. I don't give a
Whatever.
shit. I stand by my beliefs
like
at all costs.
You're just crying wolf over and over and over again. And then when something that actually is true and like is a quote unquote like true conspiracy, people aren't going to believe you or are not going to believe the party.
Stuff happening in this country.
Exactly. Like there's so many better things to be directing our focus and efforts to, and it's not infighting and it's not dumb conspiracies. Like there are a lot of true conspiracies, but there's a lot of really stupid ones.
Really dumb ones, and they have so many views, and it's frustrating to see. And I also actually commented on one of them, and I was like, just to be honest, you're so disrespectful and distasteful.
Yeah.
Like to even be saying things about her and what he's done, and like, you know, it was really very upsetting.
Yeah, I'm like, I have my opinions on the situation, as do a lot of people, and a lot of them are valid. Like, it's valid to question a lot of things.
Of course.
But especially when it comes to, you know, like the FBI and things like that.
I don't notoriously trust anybody with 3 letters.
Exactly. So, like, a lot of the questions that people are raising are valid, but some of these are just, very stupid, distasteful, and like read the room. Yeah. Read the room. Seriously.
It makes me like kind of like hate them. I'm like, ew, now I just like kind of don't, and then it makes me think like, how are you funding a lifestyle doing stuff like this? And then who's potentially paying you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it just seems like a lot of it is for clicks and views, and it doesn't seem genuine a lot of the times now, and that's where they're losing me. Like, I'm a fan of a lot of these people. I've listened to them a lot in the past, and I really enjoyed a lot of their content, but that's where some of them are losing me. It's just, it's being taken too far.
It's too much.
It seems very disingenuous.
And then I've even like called out people with like the infighting, and then they just have like, even Matt, I'm like, that's ironic though, because you like literally attacked like me and Xavier like last week, and then you're like, but that difference is I'm willing to just be like, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
After you were just shitting on me, where everyone else is like, you know, but I also am smart enough to know that people use fighting with people like us for clicks and views. That's why I never give into it unless there's an opportunity for me to be funny. Then I will give into it, and that's very rare.
You and Xavier will never fall short in the comedic relief.
He's so funny.
I can't with him.
There's no one that claps back in our industry better than him. There's no one.
We can all learn a little something from
I know. I actually wish I could. I'm not that good. My thing is like, either. I'm good in person. I'm not good online. It's not my strong point. I know that. I'm not good at like clapping back. I have like one word answers. And
I'm too nice. I wish I could. I wish I could be like kind of mean and funny.
I don't like care enough.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, your life sucks. That's like I literally like my only response to every like person on the right, left, middle. No, but I just, anytime they at me with these crazy things, I'm like, that's crazy. Your life sucks so bad. I don't need to make it worse.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I mean, especially the people on the left, because they go really hard at the paint. I'm like, I could never care about these things. Like, it would just never occur to me to care about half of these things. And then for you to come up with it and, like, take the time to, send me a paragraph-long message about it. I'm like,
people treat my opinions like I'm the president.
Yeah.
People make content responding to my content like I am the current sitting president of the United States.
What about the Epstein files?
Yeah. What about the files, Emily? I'm like, oh, they're in my back house.
Exactly.
Let me go grab them.
Let me pull them out of my purse real fast.
Do you guys see me at the White House? Yeah. No. I don't know why. Who's cock blocking me out of the White House? I don't know. We'll figure that out in another episode. But anyways, you guys, sorry. She will be back very soon. Don't worry. Like, subscribe, share, comment nice things about the both of us. And we will be back very soon.